I'll start in 5 minutes. Good morning, everyone. Okay, good morning, everyone. I will start now. I hope you can see the screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So, in the last two lectures, we had talked about decision tree classification and we had talked about rule based classification. See, there are various classification algorithms available. Apart from decision tree, rule based, there is naive Bayes. These are popular algorithms. Then you have support vector machines and perceptron model. So these are also quite popular. And after that, in our syllabus, we will be talking about naive Bayes also. But these three are the part of your syllabus. These two are other popular algorithms. So if you get a chance, do read about them because they are very interesting algorithm. In fact, they are given in your book also. So in decision tree, what we did was in decision tree you had some set of attributes for all the records, and the attribute that gave you maximum information or was purest, you used it to split to make a decision. And at each level you use some attributes to make splits, so that finally you could arrive at the leaf node, which could give you a clear classification of the record. Then you had rule based classifier. Based on how rules were ordered, you would check attributes one by one and see that how the records could be classified based on certain rules. Now the naive Bayes classification algorithm is based on probability of distribution of records in different classes. So if you remember, if I have to compute a probability of class Y, let's assume you have these records x1, x2, x3, x4 up to xn, and then you have a class, and you in this class you have two classes c1 and c2, which you could say yes or no. Now if you have to compute the probability, and let's say that you have n records, okay, so if you have to compute the probability of class c1 or class y, how will you compute that probability? How will you compute the probability of class y and probability of class x? अरे सिंपल प्रोबेबिलिटी कंप्यूट करनी है, प्रोबेबिलिटी कैसे निकालोगे? टोटल नंबर ऑफ रिकॉर्ड्स n है. Okay, somebody has responded in chat. Very nice, very good. Thank you, Vibhu and Prakriti. That's nice of you. So let's assume that the class C1 or class Y, the number of records are n C1, and for class no, the number of records are n C2. So probability of class having a class Y is n C1 divided by n, and probability of class C2 or no is nC2 divided by n. So this is known as, so you are saying P of C1 and this is P of C2. So this is known as prior probability. You already know this probability because the records are given to you, the data set is there. So this is the prior probability. These things have already occurred, so this is known as the prior probability. Now naive Bayes framework is based on conditional or posterior probability. So it is simply saying that you have so many attributes in your data set, and then you have your class. So what is the probability of y, that is what is the probability of this class y, class y happening given some values of x? So this X could be one attribute, this X could be two attributes, this X could be a combination of attributes. So it depends on the features you have selected. You could have selected one features or all the n features or somewhere in between. So this posterior probability, posterior means that this information is given to you. Given X, this has already happened. What is the probability of Y happening? It is given by Px comma Y. So you can read it as union. This is where both X and Y are happening given X has already happened. So you will have to remember this formula. Py given X is equal to Px union Y by Px, and Px given Y has already happened is again Px union Y divided by prior probability of Y, Py. So Pyx can be computed as Px given by, so basically you are simply substituting this thing. Pyx is Px given by Px given by divided by Py. So you are simply substituting the values, and this can be computed as Py given X. So what is the probability that the record belongs to some class given the values of attributes or independent attributes X? It can be computed as what is the probability of X given the class Y is already there multiplied by prior probability of class Y divided by prior probability of class X. Now, obviously, you might get confused over this. So, uh, one thing is simply that you, when you are computing P X union Y, so you simply have to substitute this to get the formula. Otherwise you can simply remember, and the formula says that to compute if a particular record belongs to this class given the information you already have in attributes, you have to find from the existing data sets. You have this existing data set, and for this attribute, what is the probability that given a combination of attributes, the class is already Y multiplied by the total probability of that class divided by the prior probability of X. Now we'll see how we do it. So it's simply it says that each attribute and class labels are assumed as random variables. We are assuming that x1, x2 up to xd, whatever is in your feature set, are independent. See, these in reality, these attributes may not be independent. For example, salary may be dependent on education attribute. it is ny, and you will be dividing that in how many records this particular combination is occurring. So let's say nx. Now this is for one class. Now suppose you have y equals to no. So for that there will be some n2 records. It could be 0 also. I am not saying that it will be always some positive number. And where ny equals to no has already occurred, and this nx will remain the same. Okay, the number of, so what we are saying is कि अगर x1 x2 xn के कुछ given combination दिया हुआ है तो कौन सी क्लास को इसमें कैटेगराइज करें, इस रिकॉर्ड को कौन सी क्लास में भेजें. तो उसके लिए आपको फॉर्मूला दिया हुआ है कि गिवन क्लास वाज यस एंड दिस कॉम्बिनेशन वाज ट्रू, कंप्यूट दैट प्रोबेबिलिटी, एंड उस वाली क्लास की प्रोबेबिलिटी कंप्यूट करो, डिवाइड कर दो इस कॉम्बिनेशन की प्रोबेबिलिटी से. सिमिलरली नो वाले के लिए नेक्स्ट क्लास के लिए कंप्यूट करो. अगर थर्ड क्लास होती, मे बी होती मान लो, तो थर्ड क्लास के लिए भी सेम करते. उसमें से जो भी मैक्सिमम आता, जिसका भी आंसर मैक्सिमम आता, वो क्लास हमारी क्लास होती. सो you have to maximize the posterior probability of y. So it is equivalent to choosing the value of y that maximize the numerator. So you have to pick up the class that maximizes the numerator. Now please ask me questions, otherwise I will go ahead and finish this off. Please ask me a question. If you have a doubt, please ask me a question. So now the question is, okay, fine, let's finish this off. So if you have to estimate this value, how to do that? So you have been given a record x is equal to, these are x1, x2 and x3. So given a record, given these value of x1, x2 and x3, can you tell me whether the person will evade tax or it will not? It will not evade tax. So while computing, you will write yes for evade tax and no for no. So basically you are going to compute two probabilities, when y was yes and when y was no. So the Bayes theorem says that compute the probability when y is for y being yes given this combination. Given this combination, what is the probability of the class belonging to yes, and given this combination, what is the probability of class belonging to no. So this can be computed by the Bayes theorem that we have already read, which is probability of x given yes. मतलब refund equals to no जब आया और divorced था इंसान and income was 120k. तो इसमें से ऐसे रिकॉर्ड्स ढूंढो जहाँ पे नो, डिवोर्स और इनकम 120k का कॉम्बिनेशन था. आई थिंक इसमें भी आई कैन नॉट फिगर इट आउट. एक भी नहीं है ना. सो आप ये कॉम्बिनेशन देखो और मल्टीप्लाई करो p गिवन yes से. सो p गिवन yes कितने आपके पास? 1 2 3. So this is 3 by 10. Okay. So let's assume, we will solve this later. Let's assume there was one record. So this will be 1 by 10 into 3 by 10. And let's say that p given x, this combination was again 1 by 10 only. या 2 by 10 था, मान लो 2 records में था, उनमें से 1 में से था. So you will be able to compute the probability like this. Similarly, you will have to find this combination and see if there was something no. So given this combination of records, what was हाउ मेनी ऑफ देम हैड नो, मतलब ये नो में कितने के साथ है और प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ नो में कितने के साथ है. सो दिस वाज आई थिंक 7/10 and let's assume that this was 2/10. This is just an assumption, I'm not taking this from data, and let's assume this was 3/10. Oh, it cannot be 3/10, it can be only 1/10 or this. So you will have to see, and whatever, I think this will be maximized. So whatever will be able to maximize the probability, जिसकी भी maximum output आएगा, जो ये क्या हो गया 1/10 into 3/10 is 3/10 into 10. So this has to be 3/10, right? What will be the answer for this? 3/100 into 10/2. तो this is
21/20.
3/20 होगा ना?
7 भी तो है ना मैम?
नहीं, ये अलग है ना. This is 2. This is 2. This is different and this is different. That's what you have to understand. Yes के लिए अलग compute कर रहे हो, no के लिए अलग कर रहे हो. This is for yes and this is for no. So this is 7/100. Now which is maximum? This is 7/20 and this is 3/20. So 7/20 was maximum. So am I right? No. 7/20 is maximum, right? 7/20 is maximum. So the class will be no. So this is how you are going to compute. Let's see some real records now and solve it for real. So they are saying you have to use the Bayes theorem to compute, given this combination, what is the probability of yes, and given this combination, what is the probability of no. So given this combination, how many records already had a yes multiplied by total probability of yes divided by px. So you know what, this will always remain same for every class. You can simply do away with this. This is a common factor. px हमेशा जितने रिकॉर्ड्स में आना है उतनों में ही आएगा, तो हम ये एलिमिनेट भी कर सकते हैं. अगर आप सिर्फ इतना कंप्यूट कर लो तो भी इनफ है, बिकॉज ये कॉम्बिनेशन अगर आपने कंप्यूट करना है तो पूरे रिकॉर्ड के लिए ये कांस्टेंट रहने वाला है, पूरे डेटा सेट के लिए ये वाला कांस्टेंट रहने वाला है. सो यू कैन सिंपली कंप्यूट px given yes multiplied by p yes and px given no multiplied by p no. So we will solve this question. We are first assuming that x and y are conditionally independent given z if px given yz is equal to px given z. That means x and y are conditionally independent. For example, arm length and reading skills. If a young child has shorter arm length, it has limited reading skill, fine, as compared to as compared to adults. But अगर आपने age fix कर दी, आपने age कर दी 20 के ऊपर, then arm length will be fixed and reading skills will be different for different people. That means that these attributes are independent. So given some condition, these two attributes are going to be different, conditionally independent. So we are saying that x and y are conditionally independent given px given y dot z, मतलब occurrence of y and z is happening together, और अगर y ना भी हो तो भी probability same रहती है. इसका मतलब कि x and y जो है conditionally independent है. ये आपको probability में, I mean, if you don't understand this, then you will have to rebrush your probabilities also. So if we are assuming independence among attributes, so we are saying that given this combination x1, x2 up to xt, given the class y, if they are independent, then you can simply multiply. Conditional independence का क्या मतलब है? You can simply multiply the probability. तो इसका मतलब ये है कि जब आपके रिफंड, मैरिटल स्टेटस और टैक्सेबल इनकम को हम इंडिपेंडेंट मान लेते हैं, दैट इज अ नाइव अजम्पशन. सो आप कॉम्बिनेशन x इज इक्वल टू रिफंड एंड डिवोर्स्ड एंड इनकम जब आप कंप्यूट कर रहे हो तो ये कॉम्बिनेशन एक साथ लेने की बजाय हम क्या करेंगे, हम इनको क्योंकि इंडिपेंडेंट मांग रहे हैं तो हम करेंगे Px1 given yes and multiplied by Px2 given yes multiplied by Px3 given yes. इस केस में आपका x1, x2, x3 इज रिफंड, मैरिटल स्टेटस एंड टैक्सेबल इनकम. अब आप कंप्यूट कर पाओगे Px1 गिवन yes क्या है. अगर x रिफंड है और आउटपुट में yes है तो देखो जरा, रिफंड इज इक्वल टू नो है, रिफंड इज इक्वल टू नो है, रिफंड इज इक्वल टू नो है, नो है एंड नो नो नो. सो टोटल वैल्यूज कितनी है 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. उसमें से आउटपुट में यस कितनों में है 1 2 एंड 3. सो दिस इज 3/7. ओके, इज दिस क्लियर? इसमें प्रॉब्लम है तो फिर पूछ लो
मैम.
हाँ जी, पूछो पूछो.
मैंने दोबारा बता दे.
ओके,
थोड़ा डाउट आ रहा है.
देखो हमने अभी तक, हम इससे पहले क्या कर रहे थे, हम देख रहे थे कि जहां पे भी रिफंड नहीं दे रहा है और डिवोर्स है और इनकम इतनी है तो हमने वो प्रोबेबिलिटी कंप्यूट करनी थी इस कॉम्बिनेशन के लिए. अब मैं ये बोल रही हूँ कि मैं इन सबको इंडिपेंडेंट मान लेती हूँ. तो जब मैं इनको इंडिपेंडेंट मान लेती हूँ तो मैं ये कह रही हूँ कि ये कॉम्बिनेशन x को मैं ब्रेक कर देती हूँ कि Px1 गिवन yes. इसका क्या मतलब है, जहां जहां भी x1 की ये वैल्यू आएगी, गिवन y जो क्लास y जो क्लास है, सॉरी इसमें क्लास क्या बोल रही है, यस, हाँ, जो क्लास है वो ऑलरेडी यस है, गिवन ऑलरेडी यस है, कहाँ कहाँ रिफंड की वैल्यू नो आने वाली है. सिमिलरली जहां जहां क्लास ऑलरेडी यस है, कहाँ कहाँ वहां मैरिटल स्टेटस की वैल्यू डिवोर्स्ड आने वाली है. और गिवन क्लास यस है तो कहाँ कहाँ इनकम जो है 120K आने वाली है. ठीक है, तो ये आपको कंप्यूट करना है. तो अब सबसे पहले देखो कि आपके पास यस क्लासेस कितनी है, गिवन यस, ठीक है, 3/10 है. और आपके पास जो रिफंड की वैल्यू इन सब में से कौन कौन सी है, नो कहाँ कहाँ पे है, एक तो यहाँ पे है और आई थिंक एक ही में है ना, नहीं 2 में है,
3 में है मैम,
तीसरा भी है. ओके, सो अब हमने ये देखना है कि you have to find wherever the class is yes, how many places have refund values no, that you have to compute, multiplied by wherever marital status, the class is y and marital status is divorced, multiplied by that probability. Then multiplied wherever the class is y, multiply it with wherever the income is 120K, so probably this one. So you have to compute this probability and you have to see Px1 x2 xn, मतलब Px1 x2 xn ये कांस्टेंट ही रहेगा तो इसको हम इग्नोर कर देंगे. अब सेम कॉम्बिनेशन के लिए नो में कौन कौन से केसेस हैं कि अगर ऑलरेडी आपकी क्लास नो है तो कहाँ कहाँ रिफंड जो है नो था, अगर आपकी क्लास नो है तो कहाँ कहाँ पर्सन वाज डिवोर्स एंड गिवन रिफंड इक्वल्स टू क्लास इज इवेड इक्वल्स टू नो है तो कहाँ कहाँ उसकी सैलरी 120K थी. अब ये जब प्रोबेबिलिटी, अभी हम एग्जांपल कर लेंगे, ठीक है, डोंट वरी अबाउट इट. अभी जब हमारी ये प्रोबेबिलिटी कंप्यूट हो जाएगी तो इसकी कुछ वैल्यू आएगी और इसकी कुछ वैल्यू आएगी. जो भी वैल्यू मैक्सिमम होगी आप उसमें क्लासिफाई कर दोगे. So it's simply saying that you are assuming independence among attributes. So given this set of attributes p, x1, x2, xd, given yj can be written that this is not true in the real life, but we are making an assumption that these attributes are important. That's why the probability of these occurring together is can be written as equivalent to p x1 given yj multiplied by p x2 given yj, so on and so forth. So we can now estimate the probability of xi given yj for all the combinations on training data, and you have to find which wherever this product is maximal. Argmax लोगे इनका, whichever is maximum, that will be classified to yj. Let's take this example. चलो अब आप करो पीछे, नेक्स्ट उस पे स्लाइड पे आंसर तो है. गिवन अ टेस्ट रिकॉर्ड x is equal to refund, x is refund is equal to no, divorced, and income equals to this. So you have to find out whether px given yes is equal to p refund is equal to no given yes multiplied by p divorce given yes multiplied by p income is equal to 120k given yes. ये कंप्यूट करो जरा. आपको रिकॉर्ड दिया हुआ है, प्रॉब्लम दी हुई है, प्लीज ट्राई टू कंप्यूट. आई एम जस्ट पुटिंग माई सेल्फ ऑन म्यूट. इसी इसमें आपको एग्जांपल दिया हुआ है कि अगर स्टेटस मैरिड है और क्लास नो है तो 4/7 है, क्योंकि नो के 7/10 है, येस के 3/10 है. व्हेन रिफंड इज येस एंड क्लास इज येस देन द प्रोबेबिलिटी इज नो. अब आपको ये वाला कंप्यूट करना है. रिफंड इक्वल्स टू नो, डिवोर्स्ड, मैरिटल स्टेटस इक्वल टू डिवोर्स्ड एंड इनकम इक्वल्स टू 120k. तो ये एग्जांपल आपके सामने रखा है, अब आप कंप्यूट करो. रिफंड स्टेटस इज इक्वल टू R equals to no, marital status is equal to divorced, and salary is equal to 120K, इसके लिए आपको क्लास कंप्यूट करनी है. And how it can be computed, it has been shown over here. So just compute and tell me the done anyone? Anyone who has done?
मैम यस का 0 एंड उसका 2/7.
तो फिर कौन से उसमें क्लासिफाई होगा?
नो में.
नो में, क्योंकि 2/7 is greater than 0. Okay. So we will do more examples. अब how to discretize the how for continuous attributes, how do you estimate the probability? It is by discretizing, that is the partitioning them the ranges into various bins like 80 to 60 to 80K, and then 80 to 100, then 100 to 120, so on and so forth, that we had already discussed in the decision tree classification. You can also attribute, you can change the attributes to ordinal, because in continuous ranges the order will also become important. Then you can estimate using the probability density estimation. कई जगह normal या Gaussian distribution use करते हैं, which is basically x minus mean divided by sigma square. तो ये probability distribution probability estimation होता है for normal या Gaussian distribution. So for a particular attribute you can compute the mean you can compute the mean of that attribute, and you can compute the variance of that attribute. And when you will apply it to this formula, I think it is something like this: e raised to x minus mu by sigma square, something like that. When you apply to this formula, you will get the probability distribution. Yes, this is the probability distribution of continuous variable for a given class x, given for a given attribute x given class y. It is x minus mu square divided by twice the variance and divided by the 1 by root 2. This is for Gaussian और normal distribution. Normal या Gaussian distribution same होता है, इसके अलावा भी बहुत सारे distribution होते हैं, but if we assume a normal distribution, then this is the probability estimate. So for income, अगर आपकी class 9 है तो आप कैसे estimate करोगे? Income के लिए पहले mean निकालोगे, उसका variance compute करोगे. So probability given income is equal to 120. This is 1 by 2 pi sigma square raised to this. So this you can compute. Obviously, exam perspective say you might be asked to compute the probability distribution for a particular attribute. Also, so you will have to keep your log tables and calculators handy. And in practicals, you have different functions to estimate Gaussian distribution की probability क्या है. And that's why I gave you in that example replace all the NA values by mean, because all these things come in handy when you are computing the probabilities or estimating the probabilities of a continuous attribute. So सेम चीज है, x is equal to refund, divorced and income equals to this. So refund is equal to yes, given the class is no. I think I should copy that slide. Excuse me. So you have I think this is not. Okay, so you have this class where refund is equal, this should be here also. Okay, so you have this class where you have refund. जब यहाँ पे yes है, when refund is yes, given the class is no. So given the class is no, it is 7 by 10, and there are basically 7 records for class no, and out of those, when the refund is yes, you have 3 of them as yes. Let me mark the annotator. Let's see, when the class is no, how many records are there? 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7, and refund is equal to yes is for 1 2 and 3 of them. So probability given refund is equal to yes, given probability refund is equal to yes given the class is no is 3 by 7, and for refund equals to no given the class is no is 4 by 7. Probability when refund is equal to yes given the class is yes is 0, that we have already computed, and probability that the class is the refund is no given the class is yes is 1. Okay, so given the class is yes, and refund is no. Why it is giving? Sorry. Okay, given the class is yes, how many classes are yes? 1, 2, and 3. So out of 3, the refund is yes. This is a no, this is a no, and this is a no. So this is 0. So you are going to compute the probabilities for every combination. Single and no, divorced and no, married and no, single and yes, divorced and yes. So you are going to compute the probabilities for every possible combination, and whatever is required you are simply going to substitute. For example, P refund is equal to no, given the class is no, which is 4 by 7, multiplied by P divorced, given the class is no. P divorced, given the class is no, is 1 by 7. So 4 by 7 into 1 by 7. And P income is equal to 120K given by no. So there you have estimated it using your formula that we had already discussed here, 1 by 2 root of 2 pi sigma square. So that is coming out to be 0.072. So the probability of this combination being classified into class no is 0.0006, and probability of this combination px given yes, uh, being classified as yes, is specified as P refund is equal to no given yes. P refund is equal to no given yes is 1. P divorced given yes. P divorced given yes is 1 by 3. And income 120K given yes is computed as 2 10 raised to minus 9 using that formula. So you got it 4 into 10 raised to power minus 10, and this was computed at 0.0006, which obviously is higher. This is higher, so your class will be no. Is this clear? Is this clear?
ठीक है.
So again now you have, I think they have combined it for every other possible class. So when you have only one test record, so sometimes it happens. Okay, the now let's this we have computed. Now the problem is that sometimes it happens that a probability will come out to be 0. So what do you do in such scenarios? There may be a situation that uh, probability for a particular record, for example, a record is deleted, or at this point of time we don't have an information about it, then it comes out to be 0. Then what do you do? Null bias will not be able to work in such a scenario. So in that case, we estimate the probabilities, conditional probabilities, by smoothing them. So instead of doing NC, the total number of classes that are for for attribute X given the occurrences of Y, we simply add a 1 to the number of classes, and because to so many classes we are adding a 1, so if we are adding a 1 for this, we will add a v for that the same number जितनी बार 1 ऐड हुआ है हर पर्टिकुलर केस के लिए, उतने ही हर रिकॉर्ड के लिए आप estimate add कर दोगे. This is known as Laplacian estimate. And then there is one M estimate which is saying, okay, so if n is the, I think this is not visible. So if one of the conditional probability is becoming zero, your entire expression will become zero. And this is possible because it is sometimes happens that the information is not collected or not available due to some reason. It's not necessary that it is never possible and the probability will always be zero. But sometimes the information was not collected, or in this example, the record simply got deleted. So, or probably it did not become a part of your test set. It could be, or the training set. It did not become the part of your training set. So, in that case, you cannot simply move on with the zero probabilities. So, given the class is y, what is the probability that xi is c? Your actual output is nc by n, that is number of records with class C given the total number of instances, number of training instances belonging to class Y. I would prefer writing like this, nc by ny. So which means that given the number of training instances of class Y, how many of them had values nc in your attribute. Now instead of giving it to a 0, you will say that I am simply adding 1, because अगर वो यहाँ पे 0 हो जाता है, then your entire probability becomes 0. So you add a 1 to this, and here you add a v. So what is this v? V is the total number of values that x can take. So for example, if this x can take values single, married and divorced, so then this v will become 3. If this x can take the values yes and no, then this v will become 2. So you are simply adjusting, and this is known as the Laplacian estimate. In case of M estimate, you are saying that the number of occurrences of x plus mp, where m is hyperparameter that we get to choose. It depends on how you have studied the data. So it is a hyperparameter. Hyperparameter is what the programmer or the data scientist provides, and p is the initial estimate of the a priori probability of xi given c. So whatever you are multiplying, you add it over here. So these are the two estimates that we use in case the probability doesn't become 0. So mostly the Laplacian estimate is used, but in some cases the M estimate is also getting used. So I will give you this question as an assignment. I will not solve this question for you, and I will not cover this portion right now. Now, if you have any questions, please ask me so that we can move further. For the next 2 days, for Wednesday as well as for Friday, we will be doing questions on naive Bayes and decision trees only. We will only be solving mathematical questions, nothing else. So probably on Wednesday, I will make you practice more questions, complete questions on naive Bayes. And on Thursday, I will give you an assignment of decision trees that you have to finish within 2 hours. For now, if you have any questions on naive Bayes, please ask me. Any questions? Okay, then let's meet each other on Wednesday, and on Wednesday we will do a question on naive Bayes distribution. If you have a question, then you can ask, otherwise you can exit.